Tonight on KGW News, a scary situation after a shooting breaks out in the Clackamas Town Center parking lot.
It's just a shame to see a lot of people looking forward to holidays and then this happen.
Plus, chaos on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers wait until the last minute to vote on a bill to avoid a government shutdown. And later, the latest from the St. Helens School District, where problems are now stretching to an additional high school.
It's embarrassing for me to be here, and that's my school, what my school is for in my senior year.
Plus,
altogether, I'm just so grateful to even be here.
The family of a Milwaukee man is asking the community for support after a suspected drunk driver nearly kills him. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm Christine Pitawanich. A government shutdown has just been averted. With an 11th hour vote tonight, senators approved a funding package to keep government services running and paychecks flowing to federal workers and military members. The House approved the bill earlier this evening. NBC's Alice Barr is in Washington taking us through the wild week.
After a tumultuous week that tested House Republicans' leadership and loyalty to President-elect Trump, the House finally passing a bill to fund the government in the final hours before a midnight shutdown deadline.
The bill is passed.
The House Republican-crafted plan keeps the government running through mid-March while providing much-needed disaster relief for Hurricanes Helene and Milton and aid for the nation's farmers.
We're grateful that everyone stood together to do the right thing.
It all comes after President-elect Trump and his billionaire cost-cutting advisor Elon Musk blew up a separate bipartisan deal because they argued it had too much rolled into it. The president-elect also demanded a new deal extend or eliminate the nation's debt ceiling, but that plan failed, with 38 Republicans voting no. The plan that passed does not touch the debt ceiling, leaving a thorny issue for President-elect Trump to handle and leading Democrats to claim victory, too.
House Democrats have successfully stopped the Billionaire Boys Club.
And we didn't give Trump and Elon what they wanted. I think it's a win.
Democrats flexing what muscle they have as they brace for the balance of power to shift to Republicans, with President-elect Trump in the White House.
He is a force of nature. Now, is it a, at times, disruptive force of nature? Absolutely. But listen, business as usual is not working particularly well.
This week offering a preview of what's to come in the new year. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
House lawmakers from Oregon and Washington reacted following the first passage today. Oregon Congresswoman Andrea Salinas said she voted so that service members will get paid and farmers get the assistance that they deserve. Washington Representative Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez said the American people deserve better than 5 alarm fires to become the status quo. So she's leading legislation to address the worsening budget deficit. And back here closer to home, it was a really scary afternoon for shoppers at the Clackamas Town Center when a shooting broke out in the parking lot. One person was hurt. Our John Adams was there soon after it happened. John, what else are investigators telling you tonight?
Well, Christine, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office tells us one person was detained for questioning and one person was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries after a shooting that took place in the parking lot outside of Barnes & Noble. The pre-holiday shopping rush interrupted by gunfire this afternoon outside Clackamas Town Center.
We heard this lady come up and she was like, yeah, there's been a shooting, we need to get our grandkids out. And then we saw about 4 or 5 police officers coming in and out.
That shopper described the scene inside the mall as chaotic as people scrambled to get outside while deputies arrived. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says it received a report of a shooting just before 3 p.m.
When deputies arrived, it was a frantic scene. Deputies were able to thankfully get here very quickly.
According to deputies, the shooting happened in the parking lot and not inside the mall itself.
It's important to say that there's no ongoing danger to the public. We believe that this is an isolated incident.
Still, the situation brings sadness to holiday shoppers here with family and friends.
It's just a shame to see a lot of people looking forward to holidays and then this happen. We don't need more guns.
This incident also a painful reminder of what happened during the holiday season 12 years ago. when a gunman opened fire inside the mall, killing 2 and seriously injuring another before taking his own life.
You know, we understand this is a very busy time of the year, especially here at the mall. We take all calls at the mall very seriously, but it's definitely in the back of our deputies' minds as they respond to the mall for an incident like this.
Well, investigators aren't saying anything about a possible motive right now, but again, they called this an isolated incident and say there's no continued danger to the public. The Clackamas Town Center remained open after the shooting for people to come in and shop. Christine?
Yeah, so many people out there doing their holiday shopping. John Adams reporting from Clackamas Town Center. Thank you, John. To get you caught up now on tonight's other headlines, police in Gresham hope someone knows about a deadly hit and run earlier this month. 50-year-old Ryan Winchester was crossing Burnside near Northeast Cleveland Avenue when a car hit him. He died at the scene and the driver did not stop. Police want all witnesses, even people who have already talked to officers, to reach out again. And according to a new report, last year was the deadliest year on record for people living on the streets in Multnomah County. It shows 456 people experiencing homelessness died in 2023. That is up from 315 the year before. More than half of the deaths were overdoses from fentanyl, meth, or a combination of the 2 drugs. The death rate for people on the street has risen 37% per year since 2019. Come January, PGE customers will be paying more on their power bill. Oregon regulators approved a 5.5% rate hike for residential PGE customers today. They also approved a rate hike for Pacific Power customers yesterday. But in each case, the hike is about half of what the utilities actually wanted. Since 2021, residential rates for PGE and Pacific Power customers have increased by 49% and 45%. And check out the crowds at PDX this morning. The Port of Portland says it's shaping up to be a busy holiday travel season with nearly 1 million people expected to pass through the airport during the holidays. A reminder, the airport is still under construction, so while the main terminal is open and operational, you'll still see temporary walls and some work going on. A heads up as well, the busiest travel days at PDX are expected to be December 27th, 30th, and 31st. And if you're staying home, maybe hitting the roads, Celine Stevens has a look at what to expect weather-wise. Hey, Celine.
Hi, Christine. Yeah, we're looking at a pretty wet weekend. So today's been great. Right now, it's still looking pretty nice outside. We're sitting at 45 degrees. Those winds only at 3 miles per hour. But the story really starts this weekend. We have a series of atmospheric rivers coming in our way. First one starting tomorrow morning. By Saturday, 5 a.m., we're seeing the rain in our area. This turns into showers as we get later on to the afternoon. By Sunday, it looks like we're going to have another system that pushes through our area. Snow isn't the concern with this. So for those of you traveling to the mountain areas, we don't have to worry about snow impacting the passes. It's just the rainfall. Monday morning, we get a little bit of a break, and then here we go again. Another system moves through Monday into Tuesday, which is Christmas Eve. It looks like it's still raining, and then Christmas morning, we have that rain moving in again with another system by Wednesday, 8 a.m., taking us into Thursday. So all that to say, there's a lot of rain on the way. Rain is the main story. The snow really doesn't start to come in and impact us till next week. And so taking a look at watches and warnings for those headed to the coast, there is a high surf advisory along the coast starting tomorrow, lasting through Monday. We could see breakers from 25 to 30 feet. Also further down the Oregon coast, seeing in Coos, Curry, and Douglas counties a high surf warning starting Sunday into Monday. Those waves could get as high as 33 feet. So lots of things to look out for depending where you're going. But real fast for your day planner tomorrow, 45 degrees in the morning. That's when the rain starts. By noon, it's still raining. We're at 50. And then as we get later on to the evening, it breaks up a bit. We're seeing some showers and will be relatively dry until we do it all again on Sunday. Christine?
Appreciate you keeping us updated. Thank you, Celine.
I knew that something had happened, but I felt this, this blunt force to the back of my head. And the only thing I could do was say, ow. And I just kept repeating myself, ow, 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 ow.
New tonight, a Milwaukee man says he is grateful to be alive after a traumatic injury and 37 pieces of glass lodged into his skull. Troopers say a suspected drunk driver rammed into his truck earlier this week. Alma McCarty has the story.
On Monday, Troy Harmon was commuting home from Woodburn on this highway. And while he was trying to turn into the gas station there behind me in Hubbard, another driver slammed into the back of his truck.
I heard this loud, like whining noise, like really loud, almost like tires on the pavement, and then all of a sudden just impact. And it launched my truck maybe 300-400 feet forward.
The hit also launched Harmon's tools from the bed of the truck through the rear windshield, including this heavy pipe wrench, which struck him in the back of the head.
And the doctors, they removed 37 pieces of tempered glass from the back of my skull and my neck. So it was pretty traumatic, to say the least.
Doctors at Legacy Emmanuel performed surgery, noting too just how lucky he was.
Hit more of my skull than it did my spinal cord, but if it had gone just 2 inches lower, it could have severed my spinal cord, and I either would have been paralyzed for the rest of my life or worse, dead.
Harmon's wife, Savannah, understandably overcome with emotion.
It was just very traumatic, and, trying to hold it together and be strong for him and for, our daughter. And I'm grateful for the people who helped keep him alive.
Oregon State Police arrested the at-fault driver on charges of DUI and reckless driving for the late afternoon crash.
I watched them put the handcuffs on him, and I was standing right there, and that's like a very fine line of where I want to be angry, but I don't have time to be angry because I'm just really grateful that, my husband's okay.
Now on the road to recovery, the couple has this message to other drivers with the holidays coming up.
If you've been drinking, don't drive. There's people out there like me that have families that depend on their jobs and things like that, and just don't do it. It's not worth it.
Because he'll be out of work for at least a couple of weeks, his family has started a GoFundMe page to cover expenses like bills and rent. We'll have a link to that on KGW.com. Reporting in Marion County, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
New information tonight on racist letters sent to small Oregon towns along the coast. The FBI says it is aware of those letters and is asking people to reach out to local law enforcement if they ever feel physically threatened. The mayor of Toledo reached out to KGW after receiving one of those letters in his home mailbox. The letters describe a, quote, brown roundup and gives examples on how to help in that effort. Oregon Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum released a statement condemning the campaign. She said in part, quote, attempts to intimidate our communities and their leaders has no place in the state.